Now, according to John Prosser from Front Page Tech, he's got a YouTube channel. If you don't know his YouTube channel, then I will leave a picture up here, as well as I will leave a link down below to his channel. But according to him, he said the iPhone 14 is like a combination between the iPhone 12 as well as the iPhone 4 with the design aesthetic. So the iPhone 14 will have a design feature with flat surfaces, and on the back where the cameras are, on the iPhone 10, 11, 12 and 13, what you had with the camera is you had a slight bump, right? Of course you had a slight bump because you noticed it. And on the iPhone 14, apparently that's totally removed, so the camera will still be there, but instead of a bump in the surface, it will be an entirely flat surface, therefore it will look seamless. And for the mute button and the volume buttons, instead of going from a rectangled surface, it's going into more of a circular surface, similar to the iPhone 4 way back then when things were more rounded instead of rectangular as they are today. Now the edges of the iPhone 14 will be made out of titanium, which is a stronger material than the previous iPhones. This is apparently a rumor right now, but if it is actually titanium, then if you drop it, I don't recommend dropping it, but the crack of it will be less of an impact due to the upgrade of the titanium material comparing to the other previous materials in the iPhone 10, 11, 12, 13, etc. Now, according to Ming Chi Q, he claimed that the iPhone 14 Pro models need to have a larger modular for the camera because it might be going up to 48 megapixels from the 12 or 13 megapixels as it currently is. But this is for the only Pro model of the iPhone 14. But if you get anything like a regular version, or if there is a Plus version, this might not have it, so you might just have to deal with the standard 16 or 13, I forget what it might be on top of my head, models of those cameras. But with the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max, you might be getting up to 48 megapixels. So on the iPhone 14 Pro is rumored that the good old notch of Apple from the 10, 11, 12, 13, you know, the notch at the top, apparently on the iPhone 14 models it's going to be removed. Maybe not entirely, it used to be rumored to be entirely removed while still having the features of the front facing camera and the Face ID, but on the iPhone 14 what they've done is they've replaced the entire notch with a pill looking camera and a small circle for things like Face ID and that sort of stuff. So it's gone from a whole design, let's say 100%, all the way down to, let's say, a 15% with that camera section and the Face ID section. I'll put up a picture because it describes it a lot better than I can. So the iPhone 14 and the 14 Pros will come in a 6.1 inch display. Meanwhile, the iPhone 14 Plus and the iPhone 14 Pro Max will come in at a 6.7 inch display. If you like a bigger display, go for the Plus or Pro Max model, but if you like the smaller display, go for the iPhone 14 or iPhone 14 Pro model. Me particularly, I want to go to the Max Pro version or the Plus version because I like using my iPhones without a case and therefore it's perfectly sized. But for me, when it comes to the iPhone 14 or the 14 Pro, it's good if you have a case, but when I don't have a case, it's kind of too small for me, if that makes sense. Now, just a heads up, if you've not already liked the video, remember to like the video because hours of research go into this and scripting everything, as well as subscribing to the channel. Really helps out BlazeTech, well me. And other than that, let's get on with the video. iPhone 14 display is actually rumored to go up to 120 Hz on the Pro models, and from the 13 models that was at 60 Hz. Unfortunately, I've never been able to try that because I've never had a 13 or 13 Pro model I could use, comparing the 30 Hz from the 10, 11, 12 to the 60 Hz, which is the iPhone 13, and apparently the 120 Hz all the way to iPhone 14. Now, I know that other companies such as Samsung and Huawei and all of that, OnePlus, they've all gotten their phones up to 120, even up to 240 Hz, and apparently from what I've heard, it is phenomenal to look at compared to 30 Hz, which I don't like, or even 60 Hz. But remember, this is a rumor. This might not go up to 120 Hz for all we know. It might only stick with the good old 60 Hz like the iPhone 13 models. So this is another rumor about the Touch ID, and if you don't know what Touch ID is, pretty much it's where you tap the power button with your finger, it quickly scans your finger and vlump, you're pretty much in. So this is a rumor, however I would really like this feature to come in, because since today's day and age where mainly we have to wear masks everywhere, and I know that in the latest iOS version they released a feature where they can actually detect your face when you're wearing a mask. However for me in particular, I've encountered issues when it comes to trying to recognize my face with a mask on. Therefore, if I had the option to use Touch ID and I'm wearing a mask, it's so much easier and so much faster than Face ID. So what do you prefer, Face ID or Touch ID? Leave in comments below, let me know. I like both, but if I had to choose one, I would choose Touch ID, mainly because it's faster and more recognizable than Face ID. And now as for the chipset on the iPhone 14, here I accidentally wrote the A17 chipset, so if I'm wrong please correct me, but however I believe I was meant to say the A16 chipset, because on the iPhone 13 we have the A15 chipset. Now I have not had the chance to test this out because I've only got an iPhone 12, but I've heard the iPhone 13 chipset is amazing, so I can't wait to possibly get my hands on the iPhone 14 to test out the A16 chipset from a A14 chipset. So stick around for that. So on the baseline iPhone 14 models, your lowest capacity you can go to is 64 gigabytes, and with RAM you'll be running at 4 gigabytes of RAM. However, it is upgradable from a baseline of 64 gigabytes. It might go all the way up to 128 gigabytes, 500 gigabytes, 1 terabyte, and now you can go all the way up to 2 terabytes if you really want to do that, even on the baseline iPhone 14 models. This includes the iPhone 14 Max as well as the Pro version, once again in 64 gigabytes. However, if you are looking to upgrade to the iPhone 14 Pro Max, your baseline will be starting at 256 gigabytes, and once again this is all the way upgradable to 500, 1 terabyte, or even 2 terabytes. But this is a rumor as of current. However, I feel like a lot of people like content creators and stuff like that would use the 2 terabyte version of an iPhone, or they'd be using something like a camera like this, but depends what the content creator is, depends what the content creator wants. And last but not least, the iPhone 14 most likely will come in USB-C from a lightning port. I really hope that they go to USB-C from lightning port, because USB-C, as we all know for years and years, it's becoming more and more universal. Lightning port, it's a pain in the butt because you have to carry around spare cables and chargers and this and that. No, I just want my computers USB-C, I want all my phones USB-C, I want my chargers USB-C, everything just USB-C. So I hope the iPhone 14 has USB-C instead of a lightning cable. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you have not already, remember to smash like on the video as well as subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and I will be covering more of this when it comes out. Once again, thank you to Tom's Hardware for letting me use your source, and I'll be leaving them in the link below in the description if you want to go check out their stuff. They're very good at what they do, especially when it comes to iPhone rumors. But other than that, remember to tap on screen for another video, and we will see you guys next time. This is BlazeTech. We are out. Bye.